Hello! They have just announced a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, which is one of my favorite action movies of recent years. This does not mean it's a perfect movie, but action movies have kind of taken a lot of shit lately, and I'd like to see another Olympus Has Fallen. So let's go through the history. Back in 2013, we were inexplicably given two films that were basically the same damn movie. White House is Down and Olympus Has Fallen. In both of these movies, a lone, obvious John McClane stand-in is a badass trapped in the White House, which is under siege by terrorists. He must take out these bad guys single-handedly and save the President of the United States. Both movies clearly wore the fact on their shoulder that they are trying to be diehard in the White House. We were fine with this. They looked at us. They winked. Channing Tatum even wore a wife beater. We're fine with this. The later Die Hard movies have been putrid, weak garbage, and I'm happy to have anybody who wants to challenge the throne. Close enough. Moving on. White House Down was the higher profile of these two films. It was directed by Roland Emmerich. He's the guy who gave us Independence Day, and if we're being totally honest, a bunch of forgettable hogwash trash. It stars Channing Tatum as our stand-in John McClane, with Jamie Foxx as the president. Channing Tatum is a down-on-his-luck guy who just happens to be applying for a job with the Secret Service when terrorists attack. Basically, it skewed closer to being a comedy than a straight-up action film. It had scenes like this one.
I know you're into peace and all that, but you gotta stick that thing out there and go to work.
Damn right. I lost the rocket launcher.
You lost? How do you lose a rocket launcher?
Amusing, fine, it's fun, it's light, it has its moments, I like it enough. It's a bloodless PG-13 who gives a shit-a-thon. Meanwhile, let's take a trip down Hard Dick Alley, because here comes Olympus Has Fallen, a gleefully violent movie that takes this dumb plot dead seriously. This is an R-rated movie, the likes of which we don't get very often. Your John McClane stand-in for Olympus Has Fallen is Gerard Butler, and unlike Tatum, Butler is not on a job interview. This dude has the job. From the opening scene, he has already been duly elected as the U.S. Secretary of stabbing motherfuckers in the head. While I'm ranting like a sociopath about this movie, I'm just going to run this quick video of a far better YouTuber than mine. His name is Andrea Markovic. I'm going to put a link down below, but he made a compilation of all Butler's 25 murders in this thing, and they're not kills, they are murders. That's one of the great things about this movie. He stabs everyone in the head, and if you don't get stabbed in the head, you get shot in the head. Remember how in Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze's special move was tearing out throats, and he spent the whole movie trying to be a good person, in touch with his chi or whatever, to try and not tear out throats, and it was only when the worst people in the world pushed his hand too far that he had to tear out throats? It's like that, except Butler doesn't care remotely about being a good person. He is all about driving blades into brains. That's another thing I love about this movie. It delights in confirming kills. Butler spends the whole movie blowing the brains out of weak bad guys. He's like, shoot him in the neck, then go down, shoot him in the head, just to finish him off. Always put one in the brain. Butler is on duty. This movie's not afraid to show blood. Sure, it's that lame, obviously digital blood, but in today's wussy, bloodless action movie environment, I will take it close enough. Then you've got your main evil henchman, who's played by Dylan McDermott. Dylan McDermott might very well be America's finest actor, in the sense that he might be our worst actor. Do you know how every chowder-headed idiot you know loves to go on and on about how much they love Nicolas Cage?
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
Great, me too. So does the dog. Everyone loves Nick Cage's goofy overacting. But let's move on. I love Nick Cage as the I hate Nickelback of nothing statements. Who gives a shit? It's a cheap seat opinion. We're better than that. We can go deeper. We can go Dylan McDermott deeper. Now we have something here with Dylan. The man only has two acting speeds: screaming and sobbing. Take a look at this pilot episode scene with Dylan McDermott from American Horror Story, remembering that his teen daughter is home from school and he is indeed in his hallway. I refuse to believe that this was in the script. I just assumed that Dylan McDermott decided to start masturbating on set. Close enough to me. The man only has two speeds: screaming and sobbing. If he's not screaming, he will start crying. And it turns out that's all you need to act. That's why I'm picking Dylan McDermott as my personal favorite overactor. And he's in Olympus Has Fallen. He is not in White House Down. And Gerard Butler stabs him in his fucking head. Spoilers. I feel that I've stated my case firmly enough. Let's run the numbers. Olympus Has Fallen. Lots of blood and head stabbing. White House Down. Virtually no blood. Zero head stabbing. Some mild chuckles that were ruined by the trailer. Edge. Head stabbing. The plots of both films. Almost identical to a creepy, I can't believe these weren't written in tandem kind of way. Edge. Head stabbing. I know I'm coming off sounding like some kind of violence-obsessed maniac, but bloodless action movies are fucking ruining action movies nowadays. We feel totally cool blowing away 1,000 people as long as they fall backwards off screen in a puff of smoke and no one sees any blood. That's for some reason okay. It's bullshit and we shouldn't reward that kind of behavior. We should be rewarding head stabbings. And that's where we live today. Olympus Has Fallen is the clear winner, and it's a far better Die Hard film than Die Hard's 4, 5, and probably 6. White House Down is a PG-13 baby version of Olympus for cowards who hate freedom. And if we're being honest, America. Both of these films are bad films. They're not actually good movies, so this isn't like a Criterion Collection review here. I mean, they are dumb movies about blowing up the White House. They're both the Modern Warfare 2 of films, if we're being dead honest. Thanks for watching. If you agree with me, feel free to comment below. If you disagree with me, comment below about why in God's name, outside of comedy reasons, you would support White House Down over this, acknowledging that White House Down is a fun enough movie, and I kind of like White House Down.